Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports. Got my big buddy back in his familiar seat, huh?
Yep.
I mean, we haven't even really talked much since the 250, but boy, you had a busy weekend, and
Yep.
with the highlights got to be being on the radio with young Corey Buba, taking the lead in the Oxford 250. I mean, how big of a deal was that for everybody? I mean, I know it's not a win because within 10 laps, 15 laps, or whatever, you'll crash. But
yeah, it was a big deal. He was very adamant about where he wanted to be in the race, and we had a plan going in, and we stuck to the plan. Obviously, it didn't pay out, but they knew we were there. You know what I mean? And I think the whole thing about what we learned from last weekend, or the 250 weekend, everything's a blur to me anyway, was and it's a conversation that me, Corey, his dad, and Dan McKeag have had, and that is this collaboration that we have going this year, how much it's benefiting both teams.
yeah, no, obviously you guys up front, in the points at Beechridge are right at the top, and for them they've run well and really well, and then I mean to come back after it's really been out over a month
Yep.
with the injury, and then to come back to Oxford, the biggest race that he's going to run all year, and to be a factor in it. Won his heat in dominating fashion, and then in the race didn't panic, didn't have that 21-year-old mentality that I got to go lead this thing and I want them to know who I am. He stuck to his plan. He stuck to what he knew. Didn't matter where you were on lap 1, 121, 221. It mattered where you were on lap 250.
Right, and that's something that we've been working on with, pulling back the reins. These are longer races. These aren't a 40-lap race at Beechridge. They're 150, or like the 250 was 250. You got to pace yourself to be there at the end. You can't just use your stuff up at the beginning. And that's where we wanted to be. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to run in the top 5 most of the day, which we did, and just didn't pan out.
No, it didn't.
It's a racing deal,
Exactly, and something that I didn't get a chance to touch on much in last week's show, and didn't have no highlights, didn't really even have the results, was one of our guys. I call him our guys because he was in the limited sportsman ranks with us, and was in the super sportsman ranks with us, and get out of the seat for quite a few years, got back into the past modified, and that was David Sprague picking up the win Saturday night.
Yep.
You weren't there. And,
no, but I heard about it. Yeah.
Such a big deal. I went down and saw him later on in the night. Dude, how big? How big? You know what I mean? Winning at Oxford 250 weekend. He was just thrilled. Because he's one of us. The guy that's been in the sport for years, hasn't won any big races,
Right.
hasn't been a household name.
Right, and he's been playing around with his pass mod for the last few years, and it all finally came together, 250 weekend, which, I mean, if you're going to have it come together, that's probably one of the best stages to put it on, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I know, and this is, so it was a great time. I had a great time being up there, and, the whole Oxford experience is just, it's the Oxford experience. That's what I call
my
it.
favorite part about the Oxford 250 show, because I did watch it, was visually seeing the excitement in Dave McGuire's eyes about actually being there. You know what I mean?
First time
Yeah.
guy being at the 250. That was the look I was looking for. First time guy being at the 250.
And another comment I got about the whole 250 weekend was, we all know that there's critics about everything and blah, blah, blah. I really thought that Scotty Reed and the whole organization, PASS as an organization, Tom, Mikey, everybody, I really thought them, Scotty, everybody did a really good job.
Yeah, no, it was a fun
I
time.
liked how the draw went. I liked how they had the board right there. They wrote them up as things went. As they pulled the numbers, they wrote their number in this whatever slot they drew. And, just everything. The drivers' meeting, everything went really well. Tom explained things really well in the drivers' meeting. And I thought the whole thing went really well.
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend. The weather seemed to cooperate, and so it was just fun. And congratulations once again. I know it's not old news, but some people's it'll never be old news. As how many times you heard me talk about the 250, in 2000.
Right.
But no, it was great, and to be a part of something like that, and I can't thank the Mayberrys enough for welcoming us and to let us do. I mean, I
Yep.
get a lot of emails and text messages and Facebook messages from people, commenting about how we do the show there. And I mean, obviously you weren't around because you were busy with it, but having Jay Fogelman, Joey Dwyer, and Travis Benjamin come and sit on set with us after winning or finishing second or third in the biggest race they're going to run all year. So
I think you saw the preview of the championship race for the past series at Oxford. I think the long haul, it's going to come down to Joey and Travis.
And Travis will run the high side, and Joey will be on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was great. So it was a good time, and was excited to be a part of it. As I am excited to today's show. We got the mods coming back to Beechridge this weekend. I mean, mods in Beechridge, it just sounds like it belongs.
Yeah, and Scotty Tapley has done a fantastic job taking that series under his wing.
Yeah.
And I think it was a great move by the whole organization to put him in as the race director, and
Yeah. And then
good guy.
We'll hear from Bruce Elder, talk a little bit about Summerfest, what's coming up Sunday, and which they're doing a lot of things together. The mods coming back and Summerfest
Right.
kind of working together. And then as we get towards the end of the show, Ernie Lowell, you've seen him on here before for the Southern Maine Garden Tractor Club. They got their Make-A-Wish. Last year they raised over $10,000. I want to see what they have in store to, a little field over at Charlie Cole's house on 448 Boom Road. So, just a lot of stuff, jam-packed a lot of stuff into this week's show, and, real excited. And as we hit the home stretch, so to speak, we're now in August. Now it's go time. Now we have the contenders, and you've separated themselves from the pretenders,
Right.
right? We'll take a break, be right back with Scott Tapley.
Looking for something different and exciting to do on Friday night? How about real NASCAR racing at Lee USA Speedway, featuring the ground-pounding, super-fast, super-modifieds, the fender-rubbing late model sportsman, unpredictable hobby stocks, and more. It's great family fun and excitement. Kids under 12 get in free, and there's acres of free and easy parking. Friday nights at Lee USA Speedway, located right on Route 125 in Lee, New Hampshire. Check LeeUSASpeedway.com for more information.
Looking for a great time, great people, and great food? Then visit New England's #1 biker destination, Bentley's Saloon, owned by legendary super-modified driver Bentley Warren. Bentley's is a biker bar that welcomes everyone. Staying in the area, Bentley's has their own full-service campground right on site. Tuesdays, Bentley's Cruise Night attracts car enthusiasts from all over New England. Located on Route 1 in Arundel, Bentley's Saloon guarantees a great time. Check out the fun at BentleySaloon.com and see why Bentley says, who has more fun than us?
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
The Monster Truck Throwdown Tour invades the Oxford Plains Speedway. Saturday and Sunday, August 17th and 18th. Watch 8 of the biggest and baddest Monster Truck superstars, including Jim Kohler and Avenger, Backdraft, Raising Cane, and Maine's very own Monster Lobster Crustacean Throwdown, and Maine's biggest outdoor event of the summer. Plus, see the thrills of freestyle motocross and take a ride in a real monster truck. Kids tickets start at just $10. Call 207-539-8865 now to reserve your tickets. Don't miss the pre-race party with the drivers. Produced by Midwest Monster Truck Events.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and sitting in here for kind of talk a little bit about the series that he's the series director of, and that's Scott Tapley, who's originally from Maine, left for quite a few years to go to Connecticut, but's back in Maine. So I want to welcome you to Mainly Motorsports, Scott.
Well, thanks for having me. Moved back up here to Maine, and I've become a fan of the show.
The fan of the show,
you do a
that's
good
perfect.
job. Yep.
Well, we got to do something about the hat. You know what I mean? Green Bay Packer hat. I mean, I guess we can get along now. It's when my team, the Cowboys, start playing again in January. We don't play in January.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, so probably we'll be old and gray before we have to worry about us going back to the '90s rivalries. But no, it's good, and a lot of people might not realize that you really came from Maine, and some of the history that you have about yourself and where you went. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, my father started. He was racing in Maine at Oxford in the street stocks, Gary, and I came up through the ranks with him, and then with Bruce Haley and Greeley's Garage, working with them in the pro stocks at Oxford. And then went to college, which is now UNOH. It was not that when I went there, out in Ohio. Got a motorsports degree, came back, worked full-time for Ryan Moore. And then when he got his deal with DEI, I got offered a job down in Connecticut with Mohegan Sun, Matt Kobaluk, and we were able to win a championship in 2008. And yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, you were fortunate enough to be involved with some good teams, but then you went from one side to the other, almost like a baseball player. Now you went to the management side. You went over there at Waterford, I believe, and got kind of involved in the race directing there.
Yeah. Waterford was going through a little bit of a change. They had a race director, and they wanted an assistant with Tom Fox. He was the race director, and he asked me if I could do it. And we were still running Busch North at the time, so I was doing it on the off weekends. And then he moved on, and I got offered the job of race director, and I did it for 2.5 years.
Yeah, so then, things changed, get the opportunity, and MRS was looking to make a change, and which I think is a great choice by getting somebody younger and vibrant and somebody involved that maybe hasn't been around it, so you don't have that. You always worry about the, he's coming from a team and he's got some loyalties, and I mean, you just came in and kind of you're meshing well with everyone.
Well, the goal. My goal always in this position is to, when you open the gate and you close the gate at the end of the night, that everyone had the same chance to win, no matter what the situation was. Obviously, you're going to have fast cars that run up front, and you're going to have slow cars that run up back. But as long as, from my perspective, everybody had the same opportunity to win, that's what I've always wanted to see as a competitor, working on race cars, and that's what I wanted to convey when I moved over to this type of position.
Yeah, and it seems to be working out. Obviously, it's the 10th anniversary. You're coming off, a couple weeks ago, being involved in the biggest weekend in Maine, TD Bank 250 at Oxford Plains. You guys brought 23 cars to be involved in the Saturday night show. Put on a great race. Rowan picked up the win, but Savory was right there with him. So it was one of those races, which you always hope, not decided till turn 4 of the last lap.
Yeah, it's been the case with our series all this year, really. I mean, the first couple of races, the winners of the race only led the last 5 laps, and it's tire management. Tommy Barrett, who's probably one of the biggest up and coming racers in the country, he brought over a new tire management skill, a new way of racing, of managing in the first half of the race that everyone's sort of gravitated to, and it really makes the last half of races. I mean, you cannot miss the end of our races. If you do, you will be. If you leave at the halfway point, you will be shocked at the results when you read the paper.
And it's funny because, I hadn't seen an MRS race in a few years, and I went down to Lee last year, and that was kind of what, I want to call it the race that, people had heard and known about Tommy Barrett, but I call it the race that put Tommy Barrett on the map.
Yep.
He wasn't even allowed to finish the race, but they knew he was there, when he, got into McKennedy, and, and then since the series as a whole has been able to harness Tommy. And, so that's why I think it's neat that the fans at Oxford was able to see a talent like him. But which brings us to Beech Ridge, which you're coming to this upcoming weekend. And, it's going to be a big deal to see the likes of him because the open wheel modifieds, they were at home at Beech Ridge for many years.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back in Maine. MRS was outside of Maine last year for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. But it's good to be back, and Beech Ridge has a long history. I know that David Pinkham, running there, and Willie Elliott. I remember all those type of deals going on there, and we're going to also be part of Nostalgia Weekend, which is with Maine Vintage and all that. They'll be at Beech Ridge on Sunday, but they'll also be having a lot of old modifieds there on Saturday for our event, for people to take a look at and probably bring back a lot of memories.
Yeah, and I grew up, at Beech Ridge as a fan, and the modified, the old A class, that was it. And you talk the likes of, David Pinkham and, Willie Elliott. Ralph Cusack.
Yep.
He made it, so there is a big history, and I think it's one of those races that the fans that maybe not travel to Beech Ridge every week, but they mark on their schedule because, we want to be there when MRS is there and see the open wheel cars because of the history that they have at Beech Ridge.
Yeah, I think just to be back in Maine, to be back where modifieds got kind of a legendary status at Beech Ridge, and to bring veterans that we have and the young up and comers that we have, and to bring that mesh to a historic facility like Beech Ridge, in my opinion, a historic facility. It should be a great night, and I really cannot wait.
Yeah, and obviously you have the vintage people that are going to be there, and then you have, so you're a part of that organization, and so it's going to be, like you said, just a big weekend all the way around, 2-day event, really.
Clark's Eastside Scrap and Westside Scrap, two of the region's most efficient scrap yards. Both locations have the latest and greatest equipment, along with large capacity scales that are constantly calibrated to ensure honest weights. Car crushing, roll-off containers, scrap metal. Clark's Eastside Scrap in Chelsea and Clark's Westside Scrap in Farmingdale. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Since day one, I've been honest with you about the RV business and offered you some great deals with no pressure sales. Today, Scotts Recreation is one of Maine's premier RV dealers. We thank you. Last month, we offered a special on 50 travel trailers, and they're almost gone. Business has been good, but I'd like it to be great. We have pop-ups, travel trailers, fifth wheels, new 2014 models, and closeout specials. The best selection in Maine at prices you won't find anywhere else.
Scotts Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
Award Champs LLC is Southern Maine's premier award supplier and official award supplier for many of the area's top organizations and events. If you're in need of an award for a sponsor, employee recognition, fundraising event, or an entire sports organization, call Todd Mead at Award Champ. They provide the best for less with competitive pricing like the big online firms, but give you the personalized service you can only get from a local supplier. When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Yeah, and obviously you have the vintage people that are going to be there, and then you have, so you're a part of that organization, and so it's going to be, like you said, just a big weekend all the way around, 2-day event, really.
Yeah, it's going to be a big event, and I'm a little bit selfish, and I like to commute. I've been the last few years commuting from Maine to Connecticut twice a week, so I'll take this nice short commute to Beech Ridge.
Now, who's some of the drivers that we can expect to see? Obviously, we've already talked about Tommy Barrett, but some of the other guys that you expect to put on a great show at Beech Ridge for the fans to pay attention to.
Well, I think through the field we've got a lot of talent, a lot of capable cars that can win. Obviously, Tommy is the point leader. He's got a 2-point lead over Rowan Pennick, who is one of the top drivers on the Wheel and Modified Tour as well. He does both series. We've got Richard Savory, who's one of the old KG veterans. He's just right back there in points, ready to go, ready to pounce on those two. Louis Mekalitis, who a lot of people know from super late models and things like that. He runs full-time with us. He's 4th in points, and he won at Seekonk a couple weeks ago. He's a threat everywhere.
Yeah.
And we've got, through the field, Max Zackham, Norm Wren, Chris Pastriak, who had a little bit of a health issue and missed a race, but he's been just as hot as anybody as of late.
And then you throw in a couple wild cards, the main guys. David Pinkham is supposed to be there with Tom Greeley's beautiful number 22, and then Tony Rickey.
Yep.
So they maybe not rolling in the doors as a threat to win, but at the end of the day, if they do win, you're not surprised.
No, not at all. I mean, they showed up to Oxford 2 weeks ago, and they were right off the trailer. They were just as quick as anybody else. I think they were kind of surprised at the tire management that the guys that won were doing, and I think they learned a lot from that event, and I expect them to be right there at the end.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great time, and look forward to seeing a lot of fans that might only be to Beech Ridge that few times that they pick the night that the open wheel mods, and then to hang around. I mean, get a motel in the area and be a part of the vintage celebration, because that's just as big a deal as the racing that goes on over there Saturday night. I mean, you've been up to the show,
Yep.
in Augusta, and you see the mobile museum, and that's just a little piece of what they're going to have there with the 60, 80, 100 cars as well on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, the mobile museum, as a person from Maine that's grown up with racing, it's now coming around to my era now. I'm 33, and I'm seeing things that I grew up watching, Dick McCabe's stuff, Kelly Moore's stuff, Kelly's going to be actually racing still. Mike Rowe, same thing. You know, everyone, that era is now becoming part of their, you know, show, and it's great. It's a great deal to be a part of.
Yeah, and we're pretty excited because you know, they've asked me to kind of help them with. They want to make the Hell of a Good deal that we used up at the Augusta show that we put together. They want to really kind of showcase that down there this weekend, and you know, get a lot of those guys to come down and be a part of it. So it is a big deal, and you know, like I said, this weekend at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway, you know, Saturday night with the mods, Sunday with the vintage celebration, and you know, we got a couple local guys in the field to cheer from, and if nothing else, like you said, Rowan, who was battling with Teddy Christopher at Loudon a few weeks ago, you know, until they had a problem just before halfway, and then you know, Tommy Barrett. Everybody's looking for that young, brash, young driver coming in that will, you know, I want to say he's got a chip on his shoulder. His chip is named Mario, you know. Right?
Yeah, the famous Facebook Mario.
But you know, it's not a bad thing sometimes to have the support. Sometimes the support can be a little negative, but I'll tell you, I've gotten to know both of them and talk to both of them when we go to the races, and you know, the kid puts on a show. You know, he's one of those ones that you always want to know where he is in the field. If you're a fan, you might not be cheering for him, but you know where he is in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mario, you know, I got a lot of respect for him. He's a true legend in the business, and his tutelage has definitely helped Tommy progress into maybe a little rough at the start of his career. I think he's grown as a racer.
Yeah, and I think now he's starting to gain respect, you know, and it's hard. It's hard enough to gain respect, but when you lose it before you ever get it, it's hard to even get it, you know, and I think he's doing that, and definitely one to watch, along with Rowan and Savory and, you know, Louie and some of the other ones you mentioned. And could Beach Ridge be the night that somebody picks up their first win? I mean, we've seen guys down there that it seems to be one of those tracks that, you know, really takes to that first time winner, you know, somebody that, you know, figures it out better than everybody else that day.
Yeah, I really anticipate that. I anticipate there being some surprises there at the end, and maybe having a first time winner, you know, someone like Max Zackham, someone like that who's got a real solid team and can really string together a good 100 laps.
And put a bunch of laps around there in a legend car over
the
years. So, so it's just this upcoming week. So we want to thank you, the series director from Modified the Valente. I mean, you got one of the few series that, you know, has that sponsor and has been with you for a few years. So.
Yeah, Valente's a great place to pick up a car, pick up any car you can think of, any truck you can think of. They've got it down in Mystic, Connecticut. Their service is second to none. Yeah, Mystic, Connecticut, it's a great place to visit, so you might as well head down there on vacation and stop at Valenti.
Yeah, buy a car. So that's Scott Tapley, the Modified Racing Series Series Director, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your main returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Hewitt's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
The Monster Truck Throwdown Tour invades the Oxford Plains Speedway Saturday and Sunday, August 17th and 18th. Watch 8 of the biggest and fattest Monster Truck superstars, including Jim Kohler and Avenger, Backtrack, Raising Cane, and Maine's very own Monster Lobster Crustacean Throwdown, and Maine's biggest outdoor event of the summer. Plus, see the thrills of freestyle motocross and take a ride in a real monster truck. Kids tickets start at just $10. Call 207-539-8865 now to reserve your tickets. Don't miss the pre-race party driving. Produced by Midwest Monster Truck Events.
Welcome back to Mainely Motorsports. I'm here with the vice president, one of the vice presidents of the Maine Vintage Race Car Association, and that's Bruce Elder. And Bruce plays a big part, as well as many people, for what's going on this weekend over at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway on Sunday during the morning and into the afternoon, and that's Summerfest. And I want to welcome you to Mainely Motorsports, Bruce.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate all of your efforts promoting all the various aspects of motorsports.
Well, geez, we try, and I'll tell you, that is one of the nicest things when you go and do something, and as recent as the 250, and to get the emails and text messages, and Facebook messages from people, thanking me for the coverage and different things. So, we enjoy doing it. I'm retired from it, and we're not. I'm not buying racetracks, so to speak, with all the money we're making, but we're having fun with it. And and I know Summerfest is. I've been involved with that for the few years and trying to do what we can with you guys. But boy, each year it grows and grows and grows, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very thankful for that. This, oddly enough, surprisingly, will be the 13th year, and it has grown immensely. The first year, I think we had 7 or 8 race cars and maybe 15 or 16 of us with a cookout.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we called it Summerfest until the next year, but now we've been up around 800 people, better than 50 vintage race cars, either restorations or replicas, and we expect a big crowd this weekend. Just looking forward to it, with the modifieds there, as we were talking earlier the night before. I know a lot of those folks are very much into vintage race cars, so I think it's going to be a special weekend.
Yeah, the last few years, it just seems you're starting to see a little bit different crowd, maybe a little bit of a younger crowd, and we've talked many times on the direction that you hope to take in the future is to try to spark some interest into the younger crowd, that next generation, and get them on board with what the organization's all about.
Absolutely. They're going to need to carry it on, because the older guys like myself, Bob Morris, and some of the others that have been with this since its outset, beginning, just can't do it forever. So we are talking with a lot of the current racers. I think we're stimulating a lot of interest. One of the neat things is that some of the current racers will take out the old cars and take kids for a ride, and it's always interesting to see their reaction, because most of these old cars don't have power steering, and it's been a little comical to have them make a few laps and come back in and say, "How did you guys steer these things?"
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever did it. I drove, Alan Gassett's number 62 and then John Rice's number 24, and I was like, really, these kids with their hats on backwards and their fancy shoes and their shiny sunglasses, they wouldn't even make the parade laps, and they would have never done what you guys did. But that is one of the facets that makes Summerfest so unique is the fact that the kids or even adults get that ride-along program and get not only out on the track that they spend a lot of time at on the weekends at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway, but in a car that might mean so much to them or their father or their grandfather.
Absolutely. Oh, it's a great time, and for anyone who hasn't been there, just so they know, plenty of great food. We'll feed you very well. Of course, hamburgers, hot dogs, salads, desserts. A lot of Poland Spring, once again, going to help us with water, and so it'll be a great feed. And then, of course, one of the highlights, seeing many of the Hall of Fame members who will be in attendance, the Mobile Museum, which is always a highlight. And then the opportunity to get out on the track certainly makes it a special day.
Yeah, it is. And like you mentioned, 50, 60 cars, sign in and everything gets going about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's a chance, the first few hours is to mingle. And I'll never forget a few years ago, and it's funny how something just takes a highlight to you, but it really, to somebody else, it's just a normal thing. I remember sitting in the stands for years watching all these races, and a couple of years ago, just standing there and listening to a conversation between Kenny Lund and Mike Johnson. It was like, it was at Summerfest. Like, man, it was just yesterday. I didn't cheer for either one of them. I didn't. I had my favorites that were there, that raced against them.
Sure.
So I didn't cheer for them. But as you get older, you have that certain amount of respect that you kind of look back and go, wow, they did a lot.
Absolutely.
And so it was neat. And that's the neat thing that is walking around and see some of these guys. And, to have Rick Zemmler 2 years ago come up to me and introduce himself to me like I was the big deal. No, I'm not the big deal. You were the guy that dominated this late model sportsman class at Beach Ridge for 2 years, I remember. And he was like, no, but I watch your show, and I really, so it is pretty neat to see all those guys down there out of uniform but still involved in the sport,
Absolutely, and as you know, we'll be introducing all the Hall of Famers in attendance. We've invited all of them and expect to have a real good turnout, and I think it'll be a special day.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And then you do a couple of special awards in the afternoon, with some people involved in the organization and
Yeah.
getting some special
Yeah,
awards.
the Libby family have done a nice award called the Crumple Roof Award in memory of Phil Libby, and they'll be awarding that again this year. So that has become quite a special thing as part of Summerfest. And of course, the families of so many of the legendary racers will be there, and it has become a special day for them, I think, to see the cars that either their father or their husband or some member of the family or close friend drove really seems to mean a lot.
Yeah,
And,
it kind of almost takes on that family reunion atmosphere.
it
doesn't
does, very much so. I think I mentioned to you earlier, the Libby family have put together a replica of the Pure Hell Camaro that Phil drove to a championship. I think it was in 1973, had those legendary duels with Homer Drew in Jerry Seavey's number 22. We expect that car to be there. So that will be classic in itself if we can have the Pure Hell Camaro and the 22 sitting side by side. I hope we can do that.
Yeah, no, and for $5 donation, really, to
Right.
help cover some of the cost and things in the future for the organization.
Right.
I mean, you can't beat it. For the people you're going to see, you get fed, and then just the great time.
It really is, and you mentioned membership earlier before we went on the air, and we're really hoping to grow our organization, so we welcome folks. You don't have to have a race car, you don't need to have been a racer, you just need to want to support the great sport, the history, and preserve the great history of racing in Maine, and we certainly do have a special for the size of our state. When you think of the racers and the people involved all the way to the cup level, Maine is really outstanding in auto racing.
Oh yeah, it is, and we talked about the membership, and I know everybody has plans. It's like, geez, I got to become a member of that organization, and it just never seems it's the right time. It's like, if you're traveling over to Summerfest on Sunday, it's the right time. They have the table set up, they have all the paperwork there. You bring your money, you get it done. That's the right time. That's what you're there for. That's what you're there to do. And is to kind of have a laid back day. So there's your chance to become a member.
Right, and we're going to have a special deal. We still have the 10th anniversary books, and we're going to have a special deal on those tied to membership. So we think that'll be an added incentive. And a lot of what I like to call the foundation builders of racing in Maine certainly going to be on hand, and that's a treat in itself to reminisce with many of those people that just made the sport what it is.
It's huge, and coming up Sunday right at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway, and I mean Andy Cusack, you can't say enough about him and all he's done with your group.
He's been a tremendous support. He's on our advisory committee. As you know, we're a nonprofit. No one gets paid. We have a board of directors. We have a board of advisors, and Andy Cusack's been on the board of advisors right from the beginning and certainly has been behind us in every effort. And this is one of two big efforts, as you know, Steve. The other is the Hall of Fame banquet.
Yep.
Now 10 years into that, it doesn't seem possible, but and on that score, we've outgrown the upstairs banquet hall, and we're going to move down onto the main floor for the first time at the Augusta Civic Center. That's how the Hall of Fame effort has expanded.
And I've been to quite a few of those banquets, and like you said, other than Summerfest, that's the next thing, to sit in the room and then listen to these guys on it and see how much it means to them to be recognized.
Absolutely.
They thought their years of recognition were over when they won their last race or crew chief their last race or saw their car that they owned, and to have an organization like yours out there to be able to still honor and respect and honor and kind of, I guess the word is honor that I'm looking for, these guys and gals is pretty unique.
It is, and as you know, you got some pretty tough guys, and we've seen them just about come to tears with the emotion that honor of going into the Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame experience creates. Is just amazing.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I want to thank you, Bruce, for taking the time, coming out and explain a little bit of what's going on this Sunday at Summerfest over at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway. Right at the back pit gate. That's where everything comes. The cars enter, the fans, everybody enters. So, it's the opportunity to just kind of have a day at the races, but a pretty laid back and relaxing day.
Absolutely, and again, appreciate all your efforts with all of these various endeavors, Steve.
That's what we're here for, Bruce.
Absolutely, you're doing a good job.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right here on Mainely Motorsports.
People always ask us what makes us different at Southern Maine Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
The answer is we make it easy for our customers. We believe in transparency in everything that we do.
That's why we encourage you to visit our website. We provide you with detailed information and upfront discounts without the hassle.
Looking for a new 2013 Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? You've got to check them out. You can't afford not to. US Route 1, Saco.
Website or on-site?
See how we truly do make it easy.
Southern Maine Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
Scotch Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scotch Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scotchrecreation.com.
Welcome to Mainely Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Well, after listening to those two, you can easily see why Beech Ridge is one of many places to be, but it's going to be a place for a lot of people to have a fun-filled weekend.
Right, and I mean, there's a lot of history with the mods. There's a lot of history with Summerfest. It's one of those weekends that if you're going to camp out at a racetrack, you can go, take in the mods on Saturday night, take in Summerfest on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good time, and you know, I'm kind of torn because I want to obviously go to Summerfest, and you know, we'll hear from Ray Lowell in our next segment. I want to go to, you know, the Make-A-Wish tractor pulls. So
Right.
You know,
You'll do both.
Yeah, I know. I'll make it happen somehow. Run in, run out, run in, run out. You know, I don't know about running in. I'll walk in, and you know, the sad part is, you know, we should have some hardware on the table right now.
Why is that?
I was supposed to race last Friday.
Oh, yeah.
This Friday night, what I like to call the second greatest show on earth.
Because nobody beats P.T. Bonham.
That's right. You can't beat the Ringling Brothers and Bonham and Bailey Circus. I like to think I run second to them. No, I don't really think I'm the greatest. It's just the second. It's funny though. But I'm going to be over there with my tractor. Oh well, no. What am I running? A go-kart, right? Took a little private test session a couple weeks ago. It's going to be good. The problem is it's 35 lap feature. Try to negotiate 7 5-lap segments with a 20-lap break in between to try to be able to fix stuff. But I don't know. They're saying you'll be all right. But there's no way this cat's going 35 laps. I am going to be one beat.
Donkey.
Oh, yeah. But it's going to be fun. So this Friday night over at the Saco Pathfinders to kick off your weekend. Right there on the Heath Road. See some great racing. You catch up with some of the guys at Beech Ridge. You know, the Bobby Timmons, Nick Cusack, some of those guys are over there running, you know, and yours truly. Kind of makes, I don't want to say make my debut because I did show up once this year, but I'm coming. I'm coming loaded for bear.
Are we going to have a bet on who wins the mod race?
Can, I mean, I don't know. What are you thinking? You saw him at Waterford. I mean, you didn't see him at Oxford this past week, but you saw him at Waterford.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a first-time MRS winner.
You do? Yeah. Who?
Richard Savory.
I gotta go with Tommy Barrett.
Yeah, and we talked a lot with Scott about Tommy. You know, he's that guy.
But the thing about Tommy, he had a good game going, but some guys have caught on to his game.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, and you know there'll be a lot of guys, and you know the two homeboys, you know Pinkham and Ricky.
Yeah.
You know a lot of laps around there, and various type of race cars. So, you know they have a home court advantage. Pinkham's won an MRS race there before. You know, obviously not driving for Tom Greeley machine, but he's won an MRS race before. So, you know, definite threat. And then Tony Ricky, you know, so.
Who I heard had a good race going at Oxford before he lost a right rear tire, was it?
Yeah, I think he lost the right rear. you know, like Scott Tapley said, don't go home at lap 50 thinking, what the heck, you know? Don't go home. Because when they decide it's time to race, it's time to race, and they turn it on, you know? And then you get all the other divisions in action at Beech Ridge. So it's, you know, it's a good night of racing.
It's going to be exciting. You can't beat the mods at Beech Ridge. It's just, it's what we grew up on, you know?
No, exactly. This is going to look like a night we grew up on. And, you know, lots of other stuff going on. Obviously, Unity, you know, Speedway 95, Spud, you know, I mean, everybody's still in action. And like I said, it's, what did I say at the beginning?
I don't know.
We've separated
the
pretenders
from the contenders.
The contenders, right?
Yeah.
Now it's go time.
Yeah.
Right? So, no, it's going to be fun. And I'm excited to be over there and excited to, you know, go check out Make-A-Wish too. So, we'll take a break. We come back and hear from Ernie Lowell as he talks about the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the tractor pull, that their 6th annual tractor pull that they put on and raised a lot of money for and made a lot of kids and families happy.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems, even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Award Champs LLC is Southern Maine's premier award supplier and official award supplier for many of the area's top organizations and events. If you're in need of an award for a sponsor, employee recognition, fundraising event, or an entire sports organization, call Todd Mead at Award Champ. They provide the best for less with competitive pricing like the big online firms, but give you the personalized service you can only get from a local supplier. When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Well, all our viewers looking for something to do this weekend. We heard from Bruce Elder earlier in the episode about Summerfest and everything they got going on. But something else that's going on right down the street from Mainely Motorsports headquarters, and that's the 6th annual Make-A-Wish Foundation tractor pull that's put on by Ernie Lowell and his organization. So I want to welcome you to Mainely Motorsports, Ernie. And,
Thank you.
We've had you on every year that we've been part of this, and how's this year shaping up?
Yeah, shaping up good. Charlie Cole, my son-in-law, is the new president of the club, and is growing, and things are going well, and he's done a terrific job of helping to organize this day for the Make-A-Wish children.
Yeah, and you know, what was it, 6 years ago you guys started? You just
6 years ago, we had 7 children show up, and I think around 150 people showed up, and we fed 150 people, and we took in $1,350 at the auction. Last year, we had around 22 Make-A-Wish children show up, and we took in $10,800 at the auction, and we fed around 350 to 375 people.
Yeah, it's just a huge day. And, you know, we've been fortunate enough to help you try to promote the event. We've been able to come to the event and get some footage and highlights and photos, and it doesn't get any better, does it, to put a smile on a child's face?
Oh, it's nice. That day, if you were there, you could see the change in the children. No doctors, no nurses, no rehab, no needles, no hospitals. A day of fun. They all got to pull a tractor. They all got a big trophy, and they got a burger, and we had an auction, and that kept the adults happy, and it keeps other children from Make-A-Wish happy, because the money goes to them, and they can get a wish out of it. So.
Yeah, no, and it is such a big deal, and you know, you often think of the child, but you kind of forget sometimes the sibling that, you know, has to maybe suffer a little bit because of, you know, doctor's visits or, you know, different things going on, and then the parents, you know, that
that's right,
you know, can't just maybe go
Yeah.
out and do some things that, in your normal situation, you'd be able to. And to have them there that day and to see the looks on their faces
Yeah.
when they see their son or daughter enjoying themselves just like any other 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 12,
That's right.
whatever.
That's right. And the Make-A-Wish child, if they have a brother or sister, and we generally find time for them to pull a tractor tow.
Yeah, no,
You
and
know,
it is.
so-
It's a great time, and there's a lot of people involved in the organization that make this happen, correct?
That's correct. We start getting ready and planning this out in February, believe it or not. We start early, and yeah, there's a lot to be done. The people that do the cooking, and the people with the trophies, and the grounds, and the track. Chow just put in a new track. I don't know if you've seen it, Steve. It's
No.
beautiful. There ain't a better pulling track in Maine.
Really?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
it's absolutely gorgeous.
So we're looking forward to being a part of it, but, there's more than just the kids pull, and like you said, you put on a big feed for anybody that comes, bring a lawn chair. Obviously, there's not
Yeah.
enough chairs over there, but bring something to sit on. You get a chance to mingle with people and, meet some new friends and get a chance to, and I think the coolest thing is when all the Make-A-Wish kids are pulling, all eyes are on them. It's all about
All
them,
eyes.
and everybody's cheering, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of support over there for that event.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, everybody cheers, and it means something to the child. My wife gets the name of the children off Make-A-Wish, and she sends the children from Make-A-Wish a personal invitation in their name,
Right.
not the parents, in their name. That means something to that child.
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
I got an invite to a tractor pull,
Yeah, no, and it's real cool. It's located right over here in Saco, 448 Boom Road, and if you're wondering where that is, you get on Boom Road, you'll see it. You'll see the
they'll
cars,
find us.
you'll see the field full of
Yeah.
cars, and
The big fire truck,
the
that'll be
big
there.
fire truck. Shaw Brothers donates and brings the fire truck
That's
down.
right.
That's eye catching to these
Yeah.
kids.
Hey, that truck is so big, Steve, they have to pick the wires up that cross the driveway, the telephone wires, to drive it down the dooryard.
Really,
That's how much it's been monsterized.
no kidding.
Yeah.
So you take the monster truck, you put some other tractors, on display.
Go-karts.
Gonna have some go-karts on display, maybe a couple race cars on display.
Yeah.
So, there's just all kinds of things for people to do and see. And, you don't have to be involved in Make-A-Wish. You
Don't have to be involved, no.
It's to come, it's to enjoy the day, maybe stop in, support, showing some support
Yeah.
for the children, the club, and then, the auction. What's any idea of some of the things that's going on in the auction?
Okay, yeah, we've got a handmade quilt this year, and it's got Farm All tractors on one side, International, and on the other side, for the John Deere people, it's got John Deere's. So one way or the other, somebody's going to want that quilt, aren't
Yeah.
they? And that's going to be a good auction item. It's handmade. Lady that made it put a lot of time into it. And if you look at it, it's got a red border around it, but it's chicken wire border.
Really?
It's sewed right into it. Oh, it's beautiful.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I got a funny one to tell you. Quite a few years ago, remember when they had that Amish shooting in the schoolhouse?
Yeah.
Well, Mike Timmons from Cumberland Fair is a horse trader, and he goes back and forth trading horses, and he trades with Mel Hoover down there. And right after that schoolhouse shooting, Mel Hoover had a fundraiser, an auction, to help those Amish families out. And Mike went down to work the auction. And he's in the ring, and he's holding up this picture of a Victorian house, and it brought $150. So he brought it back, and he put it in an auction. He's a school teacher besides. He put it in an auction at the high school to raise some money for the children to go for a school trip somewhere. Second auction for children. Ain't been hung up yet. Yours truly got it. I brought the picture back, and I put it in our first Make-A-Wish auction. And a couple from Waterville got it. And I think they got it for $180 or something like that. Anyway, make a long story short, 2 weeks before our second Make-A-Wish day, knock on the door. It's this couple from Waterville. They brought the picture back, and they said, our apartment's really too small, and we thought we'd bring it back, and you put it back in the auction for the Make-A-Wish children. So anyway, I auctioned it off. I'm the auctioneer over there. And Make-A-Wish mother got it. And Mike was working the auction for me again in the ring. And she turned around and took the picture over to Mike, and she said, I understand you've got a Make-A-Wish auction at Cumberland Fair this year. And he said, that's right, we'll put this picture in it. Another auction for children, it's never been hung on a wall nowhere. I call it the picture of a home that's never had a home.
Really?
Yeah, so anyway, I had the auction. My wife got it. And I didn't realize she got it because there's a spotlight shining right in my eyes, and the spotter said, sold, you got it. I passed it on to the highest bidder. So anyway, she brought it back, put it in another Make-A-Wish auction, and this time it brought $450. And they brought it back the next year. And then last year, a guy that bought it got it for, I think it was $400, and he said, put it right back in. There was another bidder that wanted it.
Oh, really?
And the other bidder got it for $350, so it raised $750 that one picture, that one day. And the guy that got it said it's coming back this year.
Wow.
All auctions are for children. It's never been auctioned off and nothing, but isn't that strange?
Yeah, no,
but it
that's
keeps
neat.
coming back.
No, that's cool. So there's just so much to do. That's this Sunday over at August over on the Boom Road, 448 Boom Road, and it's a chance. Come over in the morning. You got two choices, okay? If you can't come all day, you got the choice to come over in the morning, watch the kids pull.
Oh, that's the ideal.
Then you can run the Summerfest. Or if you want more involved in the auction, come over in the afternoon, go to Summerfest in the morning. So there's your two choices to do Sunday. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do both, and I'm hoping that I run into some people that are able to do both, because it's both great things going on this Sunday right here in Southern Maine, probably 15 minutes apart from each other. So if you need directions at either place, I can direct you from the Make-A-Wish pole to Beech Ridge, and I can direct you from Beech Ridge to the Make-A-Wish pole. So I want to thank you, Ernie, for taking the time to come on here and promote what you guys got going on. And
thank you.
Congratulations to you and your whole organization, because to do something like this for 6 years, all volunteers, all doing it, and just keep raising money.
Make-A-Wish gets 100%. We retain nothing.
Yeah. No. So that's
and everybody gives 110% of their time. Unbelievable what people put into that for time.
Yeah, and for more information, you can go to SMGTPC, that's Southern Maine Garden Tractor Club.com, and find out all about it. And if you just want to send in a donation, I'm sure that's possible too. Right?
Yeah, that's possible. If you bring a check, make it out to Make-A-Wish of Maine. Don't make it out to a tractor club. Don't make it out to Make-A-Wish. Make it out to Make-A-Wish of Maine. That way the Maine stays locally right here and helps our local children.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's this Sunday over at the Boom Road, the 6th annual Make-A-Wish tractor pull put on by the Southern Maine Garden Tractor Club. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back here on Mainly Motorsports.
The Monster Truck Throwdown Tour invades the Oxford Plains Speedway Saturday and Sunday, August 17th and 18th. Watch 8 of the biggest and baddest monster truck superstars, including Jim Kohler and Avenger, Backtrack, Raising Cane, and Maine's very own Monster Lobster Crustacean Throwdown in Maine's biggest outdoor event of the summer. Plus, see the thrills of freestyle motocross and take a ride in a real monster truck. Kids tickets start at just $10. Call 207-539-8865 now to reserve your tickets. Don't miss the pre-race party with the driver. Produced by Midwest Monster Truck Events.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the Southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Ewart's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Clark's Car Crushing, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
Looking for a great time, great people, and great food? Then visit New England's #1 biker destination, Bentley's Saloon, owned by legendary super-modified driver Bentley Warren. Bentley's is a biker bar that welcomes everyone. Staying in the area, Bentley's has their own full-service campground right on site. Tuesdays, Bentley's Cruise Night attracts car enthusiasts from all over New England. Located on Route 1 in Arundel, Bentley's Saloon guarantees a great time. Check out the fun at BentleySaloon.com and see why Bentley says, who has more fun than us?
Looking for something different and exciting to do on Friday night? How about real NASCAR racing at Lee USA Speedway, featuring the ground-pounding super-fast, super-modifieds, the fender-rubbing late model sportsman, unpredictable hobby stocks, and more. It's great family fun and excitement. Kids under 12 get in free, and there's acres of free and easy parking. Friday nights at Lee USA Speedway, located right on Route 125 in Lee, New Hampshire. Check LeeUSASpeedway.com for more information.
Well, now it's your chance to see results from all of the tracks. I know some lost them early in the weekend, but all the tracks that actively participate in our results program, and heard a lot of comments from that. People like to see their name, they like to see their picture.
Yep.
If we get the picture from your track photographer, that's why your picture's in the background. If we don't get the picture from your track photographer, you should go talk to them and tell them to send us the picture.
That's right.
Ball's in your court. You want to be seen, you got to be heard. So enjoy the results, and after that, that's it. So we'll see you next week, and we'll have some highlights, hopefully from the mod race and some other action going along, and my race. Might be a short story.
Or an oxygen tank involved, one of the two.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Les Hinckley, welcome back to Victory Lane.
Thank you very much. I couldn't be happier.
All right, congratulations. Les Hinckley picks up the win on a wild Port City 100 presented by Latin Creed. As we said, John, well, in the lead is not where you wanted to be, at least in certain parts of the race, but in the lead at the checkered flag was important tonight for Les Hinckley.
Bob, if he stayed there, I was getting a black flag. And then